Hello there everybody, welcome back, and I'm here to be doing a ranking video for Helluva Boss Season 1. Now, with the announcement that was released on the Helluva Boss Twitter account, being as how Episode 8, which has been worked on for, it has to be a good 7-8 months. It's been a long time, because the last episode, Episode 7, came out at the very end of October, so they've been working on it this whole time, and now it's supposed to be a two-part thing. Part 1, finale for Season 1. Part 2 is Episode 8. But what ended up happening is due to stuff out of their control, as they've said, and a lot of us are just here to speculate what that actually means. A theory of mine, personally, it sounds kind of stupid, but it has something to do, I think, with Hasbin. Like something from Hasbin is in it, or something reference, or something like that they can't release it and they are obligated to not release it. But if that was indeed the case, which is why I said that argument might be kind of dumb, is that they would know in advance, because that's being made by A24. It's under a company, and they would know. Like, it just, I don't know, it just seems weird if that is the case. I really don't know what it is. They said eventually we'll get it. I mean, we'll have to see. But they said story-wise, it doesn't have that much impactful stuff. It was kind of just like a fun episode to add an extra thread for what they did. But Season 2 is where the story will officially continue, whereas that will be kind of like a filler episode in a way. So I thought, because I was really wanting to do this, and I was waiting for this episode, but since they said this episode wasn't really part of the season anymore, it's its own special, I thought I would rank the first 7 episodes of Helluva Boss. And I haven't really seen anyone, do a ranking of Season 1, mostly because I'm pretty sure maybe everyone was waiting, but I figured I like to do that type of stuff where I rank it, so with all that said, I'll just get into it. Now, before I really get into it, I just want to say, for one, there's going to be spoilers, because I might mention a thing or two about why I like or where the episode's placed. And also, this is one of the few times where I've done like a ranking where I've liked every episode, personally, but obviously some episodes I thought were better than others. So with all that said, my least favorite episode, but I still like it, the very bottom one, is Episode 3. Now, there are many reasons why this was the bottom. A lot of people like this episode a lot, and I think it's a pretty solid episode too, but just what I look for in, my type of content is good story beats, good character moments, and this doesn't really have that as much as the other episodes do, I feel, because this just feels like, just from the plot standpoint, how it all stems from just a petty rivalry between Blitz and Veronica. And I think it all starts over a parking spot, which I know is really stupid, right? But the thing that I really like about the episode, obviously, is there's some really funny moments in it. It's really entertaining, especially with Moxie, who's my favorite. There's a lot of fun moments with him. I think the animation, throughout all these episodes, is really solid. But in terms of story and character beats and all that, there isn't that much there, except for some much needed development for Luna, who in the show wasn't really developed this much, and it's kind of just seen as the furry, wolf girl that all these people like. So, yeah, that's at the very bottom. At number 6, which, again, my ranking's definitely different than a lot of people's, because this is one of the more highly regarded ones, is the Lululand episode, Episode 2. Now, a reason why I feel like this is near the bottom for me is a lot of people hyped it up and all that sorts of stuff, but I watched it and I just thought it was the main thing that it had going for me, besides, obviously the animation and stuff, is I love the setting, of the theme park. And there was a lot of fun, stuff that they poked fun at and all that. That was great. There was some good development between, the father-daughter of Stolas and Octavia. It shows that his, home life and all is not really all that good and stuff. But at that moment, I didn't really care for him as a character, and I kind of thought he was a jerk for what he's putting his, family through, especially his daughter, by cheating on his wife and all that. So I just thought that was kind of icky. And of course, later on you learn, some more that makes you think a different way about it. Not a whole lot more, but some more. But I don't know, it's just, they were trying to make me feel bad for him and all that, where me personally, I felt bad for, the daughter in this situation. And of course, he gets the imps to, guard them when they go to the park. He doesn't need them, but he just kind of wants it just to flirt with his, with his lover when he's trying to be hanging. I don't know. It just felt kind of weird watching the episode in terms of that story, beats there. At number 5, we have the first episode of the season, The Murder Family. Now, I really like this episode a lot. A lot of people say it's their least favorite from what I've been seeing of, but I think it was a great start to the season. It was something simple in terms of story beats where they get their a client. That client, it shows they're basically their origin on how they died and stuff, and how they want revenge on the girl who cheated with her husband. She wants revenge, and she hires him obviously to do it. And I think the design of her is really great. There actually gives a bit of development for her, which is kind of cool because you wouldn't really expect that. Because me personally, what I thought the show would be is like a kind of a fun, goofy sitcom and all. But obviously in later episodes it turns into much more. But I think it was a really great development for Moxie, who, again, anything that gives good development for him is high regards for me. But it shows him having conflict about, because Blitz and all of them were fine with just, killing the mom of this family and all, who was the target. And he's having conflict, but then, you find out they're nuts. There's a lot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre references and all sorts of creepy stuff that happens, but the action's pretty good. There's some funny moments, some entertaining moments, and the animation, of course, was pretty solid. And this was the first episode we got since that pilot, so it was a good distance of time to wait. And I think the wait was well worth it, and it was a good start to the season. All right, at number 4 is, ironically, the 4th episode, the Cherubs episode. Now, I really, really like this episode because, for one, Cherubs, this plot-wise is really not as talked about, but I think it's really important in the story in terms of what happens at the end of the episode, how the Cherubs accidentally get the person they're supposed to protect killed, and they get kicked out of heaven, which really shows a gray area in this universe's version of heaven, how if you do something wrong, you'll be banished, kicked out. And it was very interesting, and what I really liked about the show, how it feels like each episode does, is there's a villain or an antagonist in a way that at each episode, when it concludes, it feels like maybe they can all team up or do something against the imps, or they're going to return in some way. And I think the Cherubs are the biggest example because they're basically the heaven version of the imps. Instead of killing people like the imps want to do for their business, they try to redeem them, save them, and all that type of stuff. And it's really cool to see the back and forth. And I think the heavenly artwork and stuff and the animation is really great. I like both of the groups back and forths. The fight sequence at the end, the human character, because some of these episodes have a human character you follow. That was just really well done, and I just thought it was a really solid episode that doesn't get as much regards as it probably should. Alright, we're getting into the top 3, and now these 3 are kind of interchangeable between each other because they're all just really top tier for this show. Now, I was rethinking what should be number 3, but as of now I've come across that it would be the 6th episode. Yes, this episode added a lot of development, more importantly to Blitz, his character, and Moxie. Those are the 2 that really shine throughout the show, while Millie and Luna, unfortunately, get the back burner throughout, in terms of character development and growth. So I'm hoping in season 2 we get more for them. But this was really Moxie and Blitz's episode because there's that sequence where, they have a heart-to-heart where they're, both kidnapped by these agents. And the agents, the dorks or whatever, that shit was pretty funny and entertaining. And again, it's the thread, the trend of them making enemies that will probably come back later because they survive at the end of the episode and they have the evidence and all to expose them. So there's just a lot of interesting plot threads at the end of each episode that I really am curious to see if it pays off in some way. But this really, the 1-2 gut punch for the emotional trauma that Blitz, has about himself and if he should be loved or cared for, or what's wrong with him, why does he push people away, all that sorts of depressing stuff. And this really does great. The animation is fantastic. The song sequences are great, especially Moxie's. I love his so much. And, the ending, again, it's a really great episode. Now, at number 2, this, for a while, I thought this would be the best episode of the season because it blew me away. It really did. And that was the Harvest Moon Festival. Phenomenal episode. It looks terrific. Probably one of the best villains they introduced in Stryker. He had a really great dynamic with not only Blitz, they definitely could have potentially had something going on there, and he was the catalyst for Blitz to make the decision to save Stolas, and they get into a big fight. But also, Moxie having to prove himself and really stand up to him, and he gets a bad vibe from him, and Moxie's always like the big laughingstock from everyone, but this was really a Moxie episode, I feel, and I just thought he was handled really well. And when you find out, at the end how we didn't really get much development with it, right? But it's starting to be oh my, where Stella hired Stryker to kill Stolas. So that whole plot thread, I really can't wait to see where that goes, because it should be very interesting family drama. And of course, the animation was great. The location was different. We were in a different reign, a different reign of the universe of this hell. So really interesting stuff. And of course, number 1, easily, this is the best episode, I feel like, is the Ozzy's episode. Now, in terms of emotional trauma and animation and just great character beats, it checks off all the boxes. I think now Moxie and Millie, what's great is they have like a lot of sweet moments and stuff, and they're like a cute couple and all that. But I was here for the angst, right? For the Stolas and Blitz, and just how their relationship is so complicated and so stressful to just watch, let alone for them to be a part of it. But to see how they basically get stomped on throughout the episode, made fun of, ridiculed, all their insecurities and all are coming full circle, and you see a different type of couple, in Fizz or Raleigh, who him and Blitz know each other and have a past. So just seeing all that come out, and with Ozzy, it was just such the scenery, the location where they are is so well done. It looks great. The song throughout, where how Moxie starts singing to Millie, Ozzy and Fizz where we jump in, Blitz jumps in, and it's just like it's perfection. It's so good. And the part at the end where Blitz and Stolas kind of have a falling out, and then Blitz goes home and cries himself to sleep. It hurts the heart. It was crazy. It was so well done, and that was the cliffhanger we were left on for like 8 months. So I just can't wait to see where we go in season 2 and that special. But that was a phenomenal episode, and I just thought there was so much going for it that made it great. But again, thank you all so much for watching. It means the world to me that you guys still watch my videos and check them out. And what do you think, for any of you guys who are fans of Helluva Boss or into that type of stuff? How would you rank the episodes? Please let me know down below in the comment sections. I would really like to know. And if you want to hit the subscribe button and the bell as well to get notified on when I upload, that would be terrific. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye!